Hello. I've got a really pressing message I wanted to share with you at the moment. I'm really feeling it in my heart. And that is, alright, I'll rewind a little bit. The last 2 weeks have been really quite challenging for me. I've had all kinds of things go wrong. And it's like when you get into that cycle, big believer of the law of attraction, once we get into that mindset of one major thing goes wrong, then before you know it, if you don't get your mindset in check, then you see the trigger, all the other things. And it was just like a conveyor belt. Every day, it was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? I've managed to turn it all around now, and I've got all the good that's coming through again. But one thing that's really helped me that I was reading about the other day to get out of that not so good place I was in, because it's so easy to get stuck even when you've been in a fantastic place. If something major comes along that really knocks you for six, it's easy to get stuck again. And so it's like you can feel yourself climbing out the walls out of this little prison that you've put yourself in again. And one thing that really helped me that I read about was when you're in that place, is to, rather than frantically worrying and fearing and feeling all these negative things, is to get out of yourself and think, right, okay, so what would my true self, my higher self, whatever it is you wish to call it, what would they do in this situation? Now, I used to use this technique a lot, but I would, as a young person, when my struggles were so bad, but I wouldn't do it for myself. I'd always think what another person would do. So I think this is taking it up a notch higher. And it's, what would my higher self do if they were in this situation? Because if I'm acting in my true higher self, I'm feeling really good, I'm feeling really confident, I'm not feeling negative, or if I do, I'm able to get rid of that quite quickly and go back to feeling really good and purposeful. And for me, to be able to get out of my head and look at things like that from that angle has been super helpful. And it's actually, no, the true Sam, would not be behaving this way and slinking back into a bit of a victim-like mode. And so I really stepped out of myself, almost visualised myself coming out of myself, looking at myself in the face and like, actually, Sam, this is not the true you. This is like the negatives, the fears, the things that have come back in, and they've started to clutter up your mind. So go back into my heart and think, who is it I really am? Who is that best version of me? And what would that best version of me say, do, think, believe, and act on that? Let that best self person guide me. And that has really, really helped me in the last 24 hours to get out of this horrible funk I was in. And I was fighting it every day. I wasn't letting it happen, but I was fighting it, and I don't want to be in that struggle, that fight either. So I found this just so useful, what I read about, and I wanted to share this with you today.